Hello guys, welcome back to another Android application development tutorial. In this video, we are going to learn about how to update content of RecyclerView using Diffutil. For display list of items, we have a list view. After some times, we got RecyclerView. By using RecyclerView, we can improve application performance because RecyclerView using viewHolders and it reuses the viewHolders for rendering new items on the screen. If you need to update a content of RecyclerView, generally we call the notifyDataSetChanged method on the adapter of RecyclerView. But calling the notifyDataSetChanged method on the adapter is an expensive process because it recreates the entire viewHolders and it refreshes the entire list. This may cause the RecyclerView to auto-scroll. Sometimes it may cause the list to flicker. So these are the issues while using notifyDataSetChanged method on the adapter. Now we got a solution for all these problems, that is Diffutil. Diffutil is a utility class available in Android support library. So for using Diffutil, there is no need to add any external package or any external library to your Android Studio project because it is the part of Android support library. So before going to create an example of Diffutil, you must have some theoretical concepts about Diffutil. So here I create a simple presentation that will gives you the basic concepts of Diffutil, such as what are the callback methods and what is the purpose of each methods in Diffutil. So now we can start the presentation. First, we have an introduction to Diffutil. This is introduction from Google. Diffutil is a utility class that can calculate difference between two lists and output a list of operations that converts the first list into a second one. Diffutil is an alternative for notifyDataSetChanged in RecyclerView Adapter. Calling notifyDataSetChanged on adapter is expensive because it refreshes all the rows in the list by recreating the entire viewHolders used in that list. The Diffutil API update only those content that need to be updated. Hence, it helps us to save memory and improve our performance. Now, we can learn about what are the callback methods and what are the purpose of these methods. This is the first method, getOldListSize. As the name suggests, this method returns the size of the old list. Here is the second method, getNewListSize. This method returns size of the new list. Next method is areItemsTheSame. This method has two parameters, oldItemPosition and newItemPosition. This method compares each items in old list and new list for checking whether individual items are the same or not. The comparison is done using IDs of each item. If individual items are the same, then this method returns true, otherwise it returns false. Here is the next method, are contents the same? This method also has two parameters, oldItemPosition and newItemPosition. This method checks whether contents, that means data in each row of the old list and new list are the same or not. This method is called by Diffutil only if areItemsTheSame method returns true. Here is the next method. This is the last method, getChangePayload. This method also has two parameters, oldItemPosition and newItemPosition. This method is called by Diffutil API only if areItemsTheSame returns true and areContentsTheSame returns false. This method returns an object that contains the data change payload. From this method, we can detect the change in data and pass the changed data to the recycler adapter in the form of a bundle object. Now we can create an example application. So from this presentation, I hope you get the basic theoretical concepts about Diffutil, what are the callback methods and what is the purpose of these methods. You will get more idea about how to using Diffutil for update content of a recycler view from the example application. Now we can start the application development. First, here I am going to add the dependency for using RecyclerView. RecyclerView is the part of the material support library. So the dependency for using material support library, sync project. So here now the processing finished successfully. First we can create the needed layout for the application. So first here I am going to place the layout for main activity. This text view is no longer needed. So this is the layout for main activity. So here we place a recycler view for display contact information with ID home recycler, and here we have a button for update the contact information. Now we are going to create the custom layout for each item on the recycler view. Here I name the layout as item layout. So this is the custom layout for each item on the recycler view. Here we have a text view for display ID with ID item ID. This is the text view for display name. This is the text view for display phone number. So this is the custom layout for each item on the recycler view. So the text attribute is no longer needed. We can remove that one. Now we can create model class for the application. So create a package called the model. Now we can add a class for this class acts as a model for the contact information. So create variables ID, name and phone number. Now create constructor for initialize these variables. Now add getter and setter methods for these variables. Now I'm going to create a method for add new contact information, get contact information from the model class. So this method return an array list of contact. Method name is getContacts. Create an array list that contain contact class objects. Now create some contact information and add all that object to the array list. And last parameter is the phone number. Now here I am going to put some more contact informations and finally return the array list from this method. Now create another package. This package is for the adapter. So name the package as adapter. Now create the class for a recycler adapter. Here I name the class as home recycler adapter, and this class extends adapter. Implement needed methods. First create array list of contact information, contact. Now create a constructor. From the getItemCount method, return the size of the list. Now here create the viewHolder class. Extends viewHolder. Create a constructor on this class. Now specify generic type. So here the return type of this method is object of our custom viewHolder. For this method, first parameter is object of viewHolder. Now we can inflate the layout from the onCreate viewHolder. Inflate. Our custom layout name is item layout. Second parameter is parent, and last one is attached to root. We can pass false for it. And finally, from this method, we need to return an object of our custom viewHolder class. So now from the viewHolder, we can create text view variables. From the constructor, we can initialize those variables. Okay. Now we can bind the information on the text views from the onBind viewHolder. So first get the contact class object. Now we can assign values to the text views. Get ID. So this is an integer value, so convert that one into string. Now name. And last one is phone number. Get phone number, get phone. Okay. Now we can initialize this RecyclerView and adapter from main activity. On main activity, create variables for RecyclerView. Now create variables for the adapter. Initialize the RecyclerView variable. Now set the adapter. Set layout manager. Here we use the linear layout manager. Now we can initialize the adapter. So I create a default constructor inside the model class. So new contact and get contacts. And finally, we can set adapter on the RecyclerView. So now we can test it. So I run the project. Okay, now the list of item is ready. So now here we display some contact information on the RecyclerView. Now we are going to update the information using this button. We are going to update some contact information. So we are going to update it using the Diffutil API. So first go to the model class. So here I am going to implement an interface called the comparable. So override method compare to. So from this method, we are going to compare two objects, an object from the old list and object from new list. So here now going to make the comparison. So contact dot get name dot equals this dot name. That means here we compare name from old list and new list. So if this return true, we return 0 from this method. Otherwise, that means if there is some difference, we return 1 from this method. Okay. So now we can create the callback methods for Diffutil. For that, here I am going to create a separate package called areItemsTheSame. So now create a class for implement the Diffutil callback methods. So here I name the class as my Diffutil callback and extends Diffutil callback. Now implement methods. These are the callback methods from Diffutil. Now here I am going to create two array lists. First one is for oldList and second one for newList. Now create another array list for newList. Now create a constructor with these two parameters. Now return. Now we need to return size of the old list from this method. So if old contact not equal to null, in that case we will return size of the old contact list, and otherwise we return 0. And from this method we need to return size of the new list. If new list not equal to null, in that case we return size of the new list, otherwise we return 0. Now here we return true from this method because we are not going to change number of items. So now from the our content is same, we are going to compare two objects. Here we compare an object from old one and new one, and if result is 0, that means there is no change, we return true. Otherwise we return false. So if this method return false, we need to implement a method called getChangedPayload. So from this method we are going to find the difference, and we are going to pass the difference to the adapter using a bundle object. So here we get the old object and new object. Now create a bundle object, a bundle variable. So now we are going to find out the difference and pass the difference to the bundle object. If the name of the old list and new list are different, then we pass the new name to the bundle object with the key name and pass the new name. Now check the phone number. If the phone number is different, if there is a change in phone number, we are going to pass the phone number, new phone number, to the bundle object. So here now we are going to check some condition. If size of the bundle object is greater than 0, is equal to 0, in that case we return null. Otherwise we are going to return the bundle object. Now come back to the adapter class. So here create a separate method for add new information to the adapter. Here I name the method as update contacts and pass the new list. So from this method we are going to find the difference in data using Diffutil. For that we create an object of diffResult. Diffutil calculate difference and pass the callback class name. Here it is my Diffutil callback, and pass the old list and new list. Now we are going to apply the difference to the adapter. For that we call the method dispatch update to this, because here this is the adapter class. And now we clear the data from the old list and pass the new data to the list. Now here we need to overwrite onBind viewHolder with payload parameter. So check if payload is empty. In that case we call the superclass method. Otherwise we get the bundle object from the payload. Typecast this one into bundle. Now we go through each key on the bundle object using this for each loop. So check if the key is name, that means here the difference in name. In that case, we are going to update name information on the list. Name.setText. Get the name from the bundle object. Okay. And if it is phone number, we update phone number information on the row. Okay, that's it. Okay, now we are going to add one more method in the model class to update contact information. This method also return an array list of contact class. I name the method as getUpdatedContacts. Here create an array list contacts and get the old list. Now I am going to update some information on the current list. I update some names, update some phone numbers, etc. And finally return the update information from the array list. Now go to main activity. Now create variables for button. Initialize the button variable. Now create the on-click listener for the button. Now update information on the adapter. So we call the update contacts and pass the updated list. Now we can check it out. Now we can test the application. So I run the project. So now we are going to update some contact information. Click the refresh contact. So here we update names and some phone numbers. We can try it one more time. Try to update. Try one more time. Try to update. Yeah. Now here we update some names and phone numbers.